Hey, it's Dave Howell with your Gearshift moment. You know, this month, February, is Black History Month, both in Canada and the United States, and I'm dedicating this Gearshift moment to Early, who is my Facebook buddy. Hey, as you can tell, I'm white, or I don't know, I guess kind of pink. And, sometimes I read about the term white privilege. Never really quite understood it. And I've thought a lot about the idea of being privileged just because you're white. So let me share a story with you. Years ago, I lived in the Caribbean. I worked for a guy, his name is Kenneth Samuel, really good guy. We're still buddies to this day. And St. Kitts does not have a large population, maybe about 20,000 back then. Anyway, I was on the other side of the island. I had to get a hold of Kenneth, but I'd forgotten a number I could reach him at. So the phone book, I grabbed one from a phone booth, very small phone book, and I opened it up, and there had to have been about 350 Samuels in this phone book. And anyway, I couldn't get his number, and later that day, I bumped into a buddy of mine who was an anthropologist from England. And we were chatting about a bunch of things, and I said, Kenneth's got a lot of relatives on the island. And I remember him looking at me, and he said, how long have you lived down here? And I said, I don't know, a couple of years, on and off. Why? He said, well, think about the history of this island. He said, it's not that your friend has a lot of relatives on this island, but there used to be a plantation called the Samuel Estate. And Kenneth likely is descended from a slave who lived on that plantation. And the plantation owner gave his name to all his slaves. So everybody on this island today who has a last name of Samuel, it's not that they're related, although some could be. It's that their ancestors lived on the same sugar plantation. And Mr. Samuel owned all the slaves, gave his name to those people. And it was just something that blew my mind. And as a guy who was raised in a certain society, in a certain culture, it's something I just can't relate to. And I don't know if we call that white privilege. I like to think maybe a better term is black perspective. Maybe I got a little black perspective living on the island of St. Kitts a number of years ago. So anyway, I hope that helps. Have a great week, everybody.